Coming up, should Big Ben bong for Brexit? Have the entire Russian government resigned? And has Ant McPartlin really McParted with 30 million quid? Find out on this week's Fake News. Welcome to Fake News, the topical quiz show that will always bong for Brexit. You can hear us live on Talk Radio, or you can watch us on YouTube and Facebook right now. Here are the big stories you need to know. Yes, the government is refusing to pay the whopping £500,000 bill for Big Ben to bong for Brexit. Instead, it will use the money for a much more deserving cause. A whip round for Ant McPartlin, who's had to pay his ex-wife 31 million quid. It's thought he'll get away without paying the money, however, because she's still not sure which one's Ant and which one's Dec. I mean, it is confusing. And with that, let's get on with this week's show. We've got Andre Walker, Hannah Hope, Dave Chawner and Steve N. Allen. This round is called Fake News. I'll read some big stories from the news this week. Our panel must guess if they're true or false. In a surprise move, Russia's entire government resigned this week. The government just said, we quit. True or false?
Okay. I mean, look, I know that Putin was trying to do something, was he? He was trying to change the way they do their elections so he could keep power. It's nice of him to meddle in one of his own elections. it's it's got smaller carbon footprint or something. He's doing it. It's like organic, isn't it? So I think it seems.
Did they think they were on Love Island and just thought, no, I've stuck this out for long enough. I'm off. Like, I don't get it.
Well, I do agree. And by the way, I mean, we sort of mock the Russians, but Britain's been so badly run for the last few years. The idea of a government resigning, that's like manna from heaven, isn't it? Do you think if you were head of showbiz at one of the state Russian newspapers, do they still have Pravda? Is that a thing? Would you be writing constant articles about how handsome the president looks today?
But if you think Russia did their own version of comic relief, and it involved Vladimir Putin on the piano, which he plainly can't play, and he sings that song, what is it, Blueberry Hill? And it's unbelievable. He goes, I did my thing on Blueberry Hill. It's so good. You've got to watch it. And to top it all off, Dera Jepojo is in the crowd. That's everything you want. That is entertainment in Moscow.
Definitely. Well, what do we think? True or false? Did the whole Russian government quit this week?
Yeah, I'm going to go true.
Oh, I was going to go false. We have a landlock. I reckon I trust you more.
Okay.
You've got a good forehead.
Dave Chawner thinks it's false because he's been got at by the Russian state.
Yeah!
It's very, very clear about it. Dave Chaunsky, more like.
Very nice. That's what they used to call my school.
I would go with Steve and his answer because it is true. Well done. Congratulations. Okay, Andre and Hannah. Ant McPartlin has agreed to give his ex-wife £31 million in a massive divorce deal. That's over half his £50 million fortune. True or false?
I know a little bit about this. It's not just £31 million he's agreed.
It's not just 31 million.
He's also, which I think is very diplomatic, they don't have any kids, but they've agreed to have joint custody of their dog Hurley, their beloved dog Hurley, which is quite sweet in a way, isn't it?
But you can't take him to the zoo.
Can I be honest with you? I would fight over custody of Liz Hurley, but some slobbering Alsatian, it's like, the dog's yours.
Is he Liz Hurley's dad? Is that what you're saying? This is a shock.
You raise a very compromising question there. I think I would be legal guardians.
I just want to be clear on which Liz Hurley, because my grandmother was called Liz Hurley.
Is that
and
right?
Let me tell you, she's not a hottie. Well, actually, I mean, she's not even alive, so she's definitely not.
Well, God bless Grandma Hurley.
I've said this before about McPartlin. I wish him well. Just don't go out and celebrate the divorce. Yes. That will end badly.
Absolutely right.
Isn't it going to be amazing, though, when you watch them on screen, knowing that Dec is so much richer than Ant?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because there'll be Saturday night takeaway. Dec will have to do most of the work, Ant will be busy calling in, trying to win the ads. So it's an imbalance.
Well, I mean, you raise a very good point. Hannah, you must have the inside track on this.
I might know a little bit.
Has she got the best divorce lawyer in the country?
It is one of the most excessive divorce payouts, especially in celebrity divorce in history. They haven't signed
Is that including the Brexit divorce bill?
Yeah, potentially.
It's terrible.
They haven't signed they haven't signed an NDA yet, but I think that there's an understanding that she isn't going to sell her story and blab. I think she's probably got a decent deal.
Yes.
Which is for him a pretty
but,
good.
But I'm not being funny, Hannah. How bad is your story if 31 million quid? I mean, that's beyond Roger Ailes territory.
It speaks for itself, doesn't it?
It's dreadful. I mean, all we thought was he'd had a couple of drinks. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I mean, if me and my girlfriend split up, then the NDA would be a curly whirly and a packet of Frazzle. You know what I mean? It's like,
No, but the problem that Ant and Dec have got, Hannah, is their brand is so sort of goody two-shoes. They're such sort of an angelic pairing that anything that's even slightly naughty would be toxic for them, wouldn't it? So even if it turned out that Ant just occasionally forgot to flush the toilet in the middle of the night,
That would be bad.
be a nationwide scandal.
Yeah. He's a national treasure.
Okay, then, true or false?
Okay.
True.
True is the right answer. Well done, guys. Tapping into Hannah's showbiz expertise and inside knowledge there. Dave and Steve, the female boss of a Swedish insurance company, has banned ties from the office as she says they are a sexist symbol of male dominance. True or false?
I mean, can't. Should I apologise? I do apologise. I'm wearing a tie in front of you. Am I
it doesn't
oppressing you?
offend me.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You're saying that because you're oppressed, aren't you? That's why you're being
I
nice.
don't feel oppressed. I don't wear ties myself, but I don't find them oppressive. In the same way that men don't tend to wear skirts in the office, but I don't think they should be banned.
It is a strange item, a tie. Don't you think, Steve? I mean, it's sort of surplus requirement. It's not functional. It doesn't keep you warm or anything.
No, but it catches the food. It's effectively a mini bib, isn't it? You can swap the tie with
How long have you been single for again? 12 years.
Just because I can't eat well.
Well, what do we think? True or false?
Gotta be false.
Gotta be false.
Women can wear ties. They can't eat Yorkies, but they can wear ties. So it's gotta be false. Gotta be false.
Well, it is the right answer. Well done. It is false as can be. Andre and Hannah, Prince Harry's friends, claim he's cut them off since marrying Meghan Markle. They no longer have his phone number even. True or false?
Oh, I'm sure that's true.
Brexit has
Yes.
really shaken the country. I'm sure it's shaken his inner core as well and his inner circle
And
of mates.
I think the most extraordinary thing, and I'm sorry to say this, but the fact that she has told her Hollywood mates to accuse all the British people of being racist. Like, the reason you don't like me flying in a private jet whilst talking about climate change is because you're racist. No.
But we weren't racist when the nation paid for their wedding, were we?
I found constantly, during that week in Windsor, American TV channels would come up and go, and what about her being African American? No one cares. No one cares. And they're obsessed that we care. They still think we care.
Yeah, no, I think families do that when somebody else comes in and splits things up. I mean, I'm calling her Yoko Markle because she has basically split William and Harry up. They were the ultimate boy band, and I don't think it's got anything to do with, background. It's just the fact that she's a disruptor, don't you think?
I think she's also probably the sort of wife-girlfriend who probably goes through her husband's phone. Do you think she goes through and looks at the numbers?
Who is Prince? Who is Queenie? He's been talking to this woman called Queenie.
I imagine she has cut. She's made him cut ties.
But also, she's got a track record because her relationship with her own family is at best weak. Let's be totally honest.
Well, I think you might be right, and I can tell you it is the correct answer. You are 100% right and true. Well done. The points go to Andre and Hannah. Dave and Steve, Paul Danan and Dapper Laughs are starring together in a new gritty crime thriller in London's West End. True or false?
Surely we wouldn't waste West End space on that, would we? I wouldn't go.
It's going to be called the Book of Morons.
Nice.
And on that, I don't think we can top
See you
that.
later, guys. Thanks very much. It's
Your
been a
work
pleasure.
here
See you next week,
is done.
same time.
What do we think then? True or false?
I'd almost hope false for the world of entertainment.
I hope false.
Well, I'm afraid we're all going to the launch night because it's true.
What?
Yes, indeed.
God.
Andre and Hannah, Scottish football bosses, have announced they're going to ban children heading footballs in the next few weeks. True or false? The header, more.
I think there is concerns about heading the ball regularly undermining your intellect. And if we see interviews with Premiership footballers, then it does seem to be that there is something in common.
You say that, but how can you ban heading but then still allow javelin and track and field? Oh yeah, it's fine for kids to throw spears at each other, but just don't head a ball. That's
No.
It's been linked to dementia, hasn't it? Heading balls. But I mean, I'm not a huge fan of football, so I don't know how integral is it to the actual game. Would football come to an end if there wasn't headers?
It's called football. You've got a good point.
Well, I must say, heading the ball is not very integral to Spurs at the moment, which is why we've lost about the last 5 games. The bottom line is, I wonder, is this health and safety gone mad?
Would you actually want them to, you say it change the way they do the interviews. Would you want to see a post-match interview with a footballer being, it was an eloquent display of recalcitrance and intransigence against an enemy? You prefer it when they're like, at the end of the day, wins a win.
Betwixt you and I.
Absolutely. Head the ball and keep footballers thick.
Yes.
That'd be great. As Heidegger once said, the idea of loss is purely a subjective. That'd be great. I'd watch that.
Yeah. Kick intelligence out of football. Yes. Well, what do we think, true or false?
Look, Scotland is increasingly, the old days of hairy bums and haggis have gone. It's one of the most woke places now. I imagine that this is true.
True.
Well done. It is true. You're on a winning streak, guys. Keep up the good work. Dave and Steve playing catch-up, fighting for your lives. The Daily Mail revealed this week that Gary Lineker is actually allergic to crisps. True or false?
I think he's allergic to, I think it's paying tax. I put a think in there.
He's allergic to being nice to people who are Brexiteers.
Yes.
I called him an evil man on Twitter and he blocked me. But then again, I was on the more extreme end.
That's not an allergy, that's an intolerance.
Okay then, Steve and David, what do you reckon? True or false?
I don't know if you can be allergic to crisps. They're the blandest thing in the world, surely.
Also, this is like a huge scandal. That'd be like one of the royals not wanted to live in the UK. That wouldn't happen. So I think this is false.
Also, crisps are so delicious. Even if it made your left leg fall off, you'd still hoover up a few packets.
Crisps are not the blandest thing in the world. Gary Lineker is.
Okay.
Synergy.
Well, I tell you what, we've given him a well and true going over, and I can say that your answer was right. It's completely false.
Good.
Gary loves his crisps, especially Walkers. Andre and Hannah, in a new bid to encourage diversity, the BBC is asking job seekers what their parents do in job applications. True or false?
True. Diversity, BBC, true. Move on.
How is it relevant what your parents do? I don't get it. I don't actually understand the reasoning behind that.
What they do now is all the BBC people, probably including him, all just go, oh, I'm so poor, I'm so working class, like Jess Phillips. Oh, when I grew up, we had to forage for food in the jungle.
So, so in an article, you'd say, oh, the daughter of a seamstress or something.
Yeah, but then when it turns out, my parents were unemployed for 10 minutes when they moved to the country and then became surgeons afterwards and are multimillionaires. Yes, it's true.
Do you have a disclosure, both of you, about your parentage, or do you come from impressive stock?
My parents are quite hard workers, civil engineer, quite clever.
Good. Oh, that is good. So we're talking brain power here, expertise.
Yeah, my dad nearly disowned me when I quit law for journalism. But yeah,
Can't imagine why.
I know.
Who knew?
My dad disowned me.
Also can't imagine why. Okay, so true or false?
That's got to be true.
It is
It's
true.
the
Well
BBC.
done. Excellent work. Dave and Steve, a divorced Japanese billionaire, has announced he's seeking a female life partner for a trip to the moon. True or false?
Oh, it's another one where I hope it's false, because if we are going to set up society on the moon, it should be a long while before we need fashion designers. Send up engineers and people can be... By the time society is worrying about what kind of outfit you're wearing, you've gone too far. You're ready for the collapse.
Apparently there was a poll and the majority of people said they wouldn't go to the moon because there's nothing to do there.
There's loads of cheese, but apart from that,
But
you
I
want
think
to grow
It's
it.
like Tenerife.
Well, that's the problem. Exactly. And first of all, you don't know what the currency is. There's no Wi-Fi.
It is a true. I saw the advert, because it's not just it's a Lonely Hearts thing, and he writes about the feeling of loneliness, and so you think that is a strange way to like posh Tinder yourself. You're clearly miserable.
worrying.
Come and be trapped with me on a spaceship around the moon.
Something I've never, and airlines have been in the news this week because of the rescue of Flybe, and a lot of the low-cost airlines, they advertise one way to, let's say, Tenerife, and it's like £25. And they're not really thinking this through, that it's like you do have to sort of get home as well. I wonder whether all those suntanned expats are just people that bought a cheap flight and thought, oh dear,
I've been a
we
victim
better
of this
stay.
before. Yeah, exactly as you say. The flights are like, £9 to Rome, and then to get home it's like £200. So yeah, it can be problematic.
I think so. Okay, well, what do we reckon? True or false?
Yeah.
True.
It is true. Well done. Okay, it's been a very competitive episode of Fake News. It's neck and neck. Andre and Hannah, how about this one? Greggs. I don't know if you're familiar with Greggs. It's a popular nationwide.
They ask questions about Greggs every
Bakers.
single week. It's not fair. You know I know the answer to whatever question comes
Well,
up.
there is a drama because I believe there is a big story, which is an allegation, which is that they have been basically shut out of Cornwall. The only shop.
True, done, move on.
You think it's true?
Of course it's true. Of course it's true.
It is
you know
the right
I know
answer.
the answer. You know I'm an expert on Greggs.
You are, and I believe, actually, showing a bit of intel here, Hannah, I believe you are. Oh, Okay,
Oh,
I'm going to take
sorry.
a
They
call.
didn't turn their face.
Very
Excuse us.
unprofessional.
Hello?
Very unprofessional.
Brilliant. Well, they've asked me to present Love Island. I'm off.
Oh, what?
See you later, guys.
Is
I don't know.
this Dexit?
Catch you later.
Has he even qualified?
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Famous now, stay in touch.
Now, Steve, you are on your own.
It's like being on Blockbusters. This.
Oh, it's just a little bit. What it means is that you are cleverer than those two put together.
I like that. Keep talking. I like
But
that.
not nearly as cute. Now, pointing at Andre there. Okay. So, Stephen, David Hasselhoff is to star in the next series of Doctor Who as the Doctor's greatest nemesis yet. The character is said to be a neurotic android from California. True or false?
I'd want this one to be true. I do like a bit of Doctor Who, and also I like David Hasselhoff. I'm of the generation where, for me, he's not the bimbo from Baywatch.
Right.
He's the bimbo from Knight Rider.
Correct.
If you're in a TV show where you're not as clever as the car, it's not gone well for you. has it?
Correct.
Do you know-
one thing I would say, you mentioned, Steve, that you are a fan of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining that would be great casting because his acting is so wooden and two-dimensional, he would be android-like.
Yeah, it saves a lot on the science fiction budget. There's special effects. You get him in there and you think, wow, it makes the scenery wobbling not look so bad. Although they've increased the budget these days on Doctor Who, haven't they?
Of course they have.
They've gone big budget. They've got Bradley Walsh involved.
Well,
so-
you know what I mean. They've really splashed the cash.
Yeah.
Do you not think that maybe Doctor Who is a bit too woke and PC for someone like the Hoff, who, let's be honest, represents a very macho image of a male?
But they need a bad guy. So, yeah, I would say true. I'm going to hope it's true, so I'm saying true.
It is unfortunately false, although you have friends at the Beep. Make it happen.
Yeah, I know
Seriously. Andre and Hannah, a mother in Cyprus, is making thousands of pounds selling breast milk to bodybuilders. True or false?
Hang on, what's the idea behind that then? So is it super nutritious?
Yes.
Well, I remember there was a company.
How do
there
you
was
know
a-
this?
There was
too much knowledge.
There was a company in London that was set up by the people that founded Fathers for Justice, which was selling ice cream called Baby Gaga, which was breast milk, and I think Lady Gaga successfully sued. People have done that. You know, I had a very good friend of mine who went round to another friend's house, I'm not joking, and she had some breast milk there, and he said, I'm drinking it. He drank it and he went, it's only like cow's milk, and I went, except it's not been pasteurised. You know, he was in bed for 3 days afterwards. It's not good.
So presumably the breast milk helps the bodybuilders get buff. So it must have really special nutrients in there.
I don't want to sound like Chawner, but obviously drinking cow's milk is not going to be as good for a human as drinking human milk. So assuming you have pasteurised it and whatever, it's not a bad thing to drink. I don't think it's any worse than drinking cow's milk.
Maybe they're onto something.
If baby milk made you like beef up like that, how comes babies don't look hench?
Well, they do though, don't they? Because if you think about it, they go from weighing 6 pounds to weighing about 5 stone.
No six-pack on it, though, is
Sorry,
there?
but I would say toddlers are notorious weaklings, and I always beat them at arm wrestles and stuff.
I believe that somebody would sell this to bodybuilders. I don't know whether it's true, but I'm going to go with true.
I'd say let's go.
And you are on the money. You guys have absolutely played it out the park today. The points are yours. Steve, James Bond producer Barbara Broccoli caused controversy this week when she said Bond will never be played by a woman. True or false?
Wow. For it to be controversy, I'd like that to be false because no one should care. It's a film. Why do people get so upset either way? It literally doesn't make a difference. Bond fans who are too upset, it could never be a woman. Yeah, it could. Go over it. It's a fictional character. You can't argue about fictional characters changing because it's fiction already.
That's right.
But then the flip side of it, a woman must play Bond. Really? Is that the only measure of equality in this world? So you're right, I'm going to get 5 for saying it, but I don't care.
Hannah, you've used many column inches at The Sun focusing on the next Bond.
Indeed.
Can you imagine it being Keira Knightley or Angelina Jolie?
I'm quite a traditionalist in this sense and think that the Bond movies should be reflective of Fleming's original books. However, I feel that I could imagine it happening because people are so worried about being politically incorrect that they will cast a woman. But I think from memory of this story, Barbara Broccoli did say it will be a man, but we're going to take in diversity. So I imagine it will be a different man to what we've seen in the past.
Well, she's green with envy today because she'd like an answer. So what do we think, true or false?
True. Yeah, true. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, you have your finger on the pulse. It is true. The points go to you. Okay, time's up. The scores are as follows. Andre and Hannah have 5,321 points, while Steve, all by himself, has actually resigned from the Russian government. That's how badly it's going. However, I know that we're going to win it back in the second half. Time for a break. We'll see you in 3. Welcome back to Fake News, the topical quiz show that's going to miss Harry and Meghan almost as much as the Russian government. I continue to be Mark Dolan. We're still joined by Andre Walker, Hannah Hope and Steve N. Allen. We're live on Talk Radio. Lovely to have your company. You can also watch us on Facebook and YouTube right now. Our next round is Headline Deadline, big stories from the news this week. Our panel must guess the missing word, fingers on buzzers, guys, and let's go for it. Adele says, what made her lose 7 stone? Hannah.
I think she lost a big weight off her shoulders, which was her husband, Andre.
Oh, yeah.
Not this Andre, obviously.
That's
Mark
a good
Dolan's
theory.
keto diet. Fat shaming.
Not far. You're not far away, actually. Keep going. Steve?
In that case, it's going to be something like just hating sugar, because sugar is evil.
Well, it's almost there. I'm actually going to give you half points for that.
Thank you.
It's green juice and 1,000 calories. So there we are. But the only problem we've got now is, now that she's lost the weight, right, and then she's going to fall in love, all her albums are going to be rubbish, Hannah.
Indeed. Also, I wonder, I mean, does the weight, does that help her be a good singer? I don't know. Like, we don't know what she sounds like, Slim.
No.
And her albums used to, the number was always the age that she was. Now she'll probably start naming the albums just the weight.
Sorry, I did. Boris Johnson rejects what? Yes. Andre.
Europe! Come on!
Well, he's already done that. Stephen?
Is it a comb?
Yes. He's had them all burned. Any other suggestions?
11 bongs on Brexit Day.
Well, I think he wants the bongs, but doesn't want to pay for them. Hannah?
Brexit?
Ooh, now that would be, wouldn't it be great if we didn't let her go?
He was like, no, she has to stay.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and we may get involved in some extradition
Well, I had
treaty
a
with
good-
the
I had a good
Americans.
friend- I had a
Let's
good
see how
friend-
that plays out.
I had a friend of mine who said that she's now an illegal alien, isn't she? Because she no longer works, she no longer has a job in the UK. Let's deport her, which I think would be quite a good
Well, this one relates to the Scots because it's a rejection of a second referendum. Yes, indeed. Who has recorded the theme to the new James Bond film starring Keira Knightley?
I know this.
Well, go on,
No, I
do
know.
it. Do it.
I wanted to give someone else.
Is
a chance.
it Rod Stewart?
It's the supremely no. It's sadly not Rod Stewart, who probably a lot of the Bond fans have heard of. It's a supremely woke American singer called Billie Eilish.
Okay, next up. Rory Stewart says London is sick of what?
Rory Stewart, and he'd be right.
Already.
Already.
Is that because he's stood in people's gardens making videos in the dead of night?
It's just a bit strange, isn't it? Wandering around the streets of Brixton sharing kebabs with strangers. It's just really odd.
And he filmed himself on his phone. How did he? So he walks around various areas of London with his phone out and didn't get mugged. What is wrong with that picture?
I mean, I also think
true.
think it's mildly insulting to say I've walked around Afghanistan and stayed alive, so I'm now going to walk around London. Oh, thanks for that, pal.
Now, we do know that Boris Johnson, whatever happened to him, former London mayor, successfully won as a Tory in a Labour city. Can Rory do the same? Has he got that Heineken quality to him, reaching the part, Steve? What do you think?
Yeah, I think he is. He's got that Tory vibe that the left like. Because when they did the debates, they sat on stools like a boy band waiting for the key change. He took his tie off, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he's not pressing no
He's
women
so
with a tie.
But he's not running as a Conservative. He's running as an Independent. I bet
really?
5,000 votes last.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to
Like,
happen.
didn't Frank Maloney run for UKIP? It's like that. It's one of those things that everyone forgets.
Well, you are right to give a semi-political answer because he says that London is sick of party politics. He should hope so. He's running as an independent. Okay, time's up. Here are the scores. Andre and Hannah are victorious with 15,287 points, and therefore they win this week's star prize, Frogmore Cottage. Enjoy. Wet paint everywhere, just be careful. And I'm afraid Dave and Steve have 0 point. Better luck next time. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll be back next Saturday with more fake news. Goodbye.